Sit in the chair and dance back and forth to Doug. Top of the morning to you. I know it's not the top of the morning because we're a few minutes after 7 a.m. How are you doing today? I'm Brian, and welcome to Brian's Beat. You know, this is the only show, the only show born at the apex of freedom, entrepreneurship, and nomadism. Welcome to the Saturday I've been waiting so long for. And I'm sorry, it doesn't really have that much to do with the show. Today is high school reunion day. And I got to tell you, a woman friend would tell you, he hasn't shut up about this thing for the past several weeks. And she's going to be glad when it's over because come tomorrow, I guess it gets back to normal. At any rate, ABC told you what they wanted you to know. It's now my turn to tell you what I want you to know. Let me start by saying, it's almost over. And I'm talking about the Red Sox baseball season. 2 more games to go. Yeah, they lost last night. They lost 2-1 to the Tampa Bay Rays. If the Rays win the next 2 games, they're going to have the same record as the Red Sox. No, they'll have a better record than the Red Sox. The Red Sox will have a below 500 season. If the Red Sox split, they will be 81-81. If they win both games, they'll be up by 2. That's how the Red Sox season is gone. They are not going to make the playoffs. So I might as well throw it out there right now. The Sox have 2 more games. They're not as bad as the White Sox, which have the worst record ever, or in the modern day history of Major League Baseball. But the Red Sox, will they be 500? Will they be 2 games above 500? Or will they be 2 games below 500 at the end of tomorrow? I'll give it out. 508-996-0500 to get onto the program today. Patriots. You'll hear the game right here, of course, on WBSM. The pregame starting sometime around 1 o'clock. They play in San Francisco. The 49ers are off to a pretty haphazard start, let's say. I think they will be better than what they are right now. The Patriots, I don't know. But at any rate, 2 teams with 1 win and 2 losses play each other in or around San Francisco tomorrow. Who do you think is going to win that game? The Pats or the 49ers? At any rate, you will hear the game right here on WBSM. What else? Today is the 28th of September. Flipping the calendar 2 months. The 28th of November will be Thanksgiving. Two months from today, Thanksgiving. My guess is it will be a little bit cooler than it is right now. And we have 88 shopping days before Christmas. So what else is going on? Around 4 o'clock this morning, I'm making my way into downtown New Bedford. I drive by the bus terminal, and there's this bike, a little kid's bike, just lying there in the driveway. No sign of a little kid or a big kid with that bicycle, just lying there. A car could just go in there, or a bus, run it right over. I turn left onto William Street, and I get to William and Pleasant. There are a whole bunch of people outside milling about. Again, this is around 4 a.m, and I'm thinking to myself, I think that summer concert series is over. So why are all these people in downtown New Bedford this morning? Folks in different mobiles. And then there was a car that turned right off of Elm Street to go on to Pleasant. And it was just... And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on in downtown today? So I made a left from Pleasant onto Elm, and there is this absolutely, it was sad. A person 3 times, maybe 4 times larger than a person should be. A walker directly in front of that, I think it was a male, visibly homeless. And, I'm just driving by. I'm trying to figure out, how did you end up in this particular spot? It was enough that I wanted to drive around again. When I turned left onto North 6th, then the bike was in the lot again of the bus terminal, turned left onto William. As I got to William and Pleasant, not only are the people still milling about on the left-hand side, but this absolutely sickly-looking person is walking toward my vehicle. And I'm thinking to myself, well, should I ask what's up? And I, being curious, I rolled down the window and I asked. Of course, it was somebody thinking that I was looking for a good time, of which I was not. And not only was she walking, but 3 or 4 other people came out from right there in front of the library. I made my way across Pleasant, heading down toward Purchase, and then Acushnet on William Street, and lying just absolutely unconscious on the pavement in front of, 2 doors ahead of 105 William was somebody. I bring this up because in conversation yesterday with Barry, we were talking about the people that are in New Bedford that are homeless, and what do you do about this problem? I'm not going to sit here and say I have an answer. And I believe that if you try to come up with some type of solution, there's really not going to be a solution. There'll be some kind of takeaway, and you try to get as best you can out of whatever that takeaway can or would be. But I think a couple of questions have to be asked. Where is everybody coming from? And if they are coming from out of town because they're told that they can get benefits here better, and I'm talking about government benefits, better than they can somewhere else here in the Commonwealth or somewhere from outside of the Commonwealth, I believe the problem might lie from within the city. And I don't want to just point the finger at the city of New Bedford because Fall River goes through similar problems, Worcester, Springfield, the places that are known as gateway cities. Mayor Mitchell, I know you don't like New Bedford to be known as a gateway city, but it is what it is sometimes. We could talk about that on the program today. For whatever reason, 52% of New Bedford high school students missed 18 or more school days last year. Guess it was better than 2022, when they missed somewhere around 70% of the days. Build it and they will ride. SouthCoast Rail. Did you hear about this? SouthCoast Rail. They will feature 17 weekday trips to and from New Bedford. 17. Do you really believe there are enough passengers from around here for 17 trips? 17. Wow. They're 24 hours. That means, if you were to do a trip every hour, and you really can't, that would mean that 7 hours of a day, of a weekday, there would not be train service. But otherwise, if you could break it down like that, 17 trips a day, Monday through Friday. Do you believe that can happen? How many people do you think are going to get on the train that New Bedford warrants that many trips? Okay. Your tax dollars at work. Order COVID-19 test kits, order them online, and the government will deliver. That would be the federal government delivering using the Postal Service, I guess at bulk mail rate. With all of the things going on, can you believe there's a city council that has time to ponder sending out a message about smoking? A resolution for a sanctuary city. Yeah. Sanctuary city. I'll tell you which city after the Brian's B quote of the day. Party at Pope's Island. Jim will tell us all about it on his Town Square Sunday update. The Bitcoin Biz Barometer, next half hour. Monthly FeeRx brings us the Brian's B quote of the day after we learn just a little bit more about today, September 28th, 2024. It is Drink Beer Day. High school reunion, drinking beer, party out in the ocean. Drink Beer Day. It's also Family Health and Fitness Day, but apparently only here in the United States. It's called Family Health and Fitness Day USA. If you are one of the deep sea fishermen, commercial fishermen, you're going to love this day. It must be one of those days that you can't go out, because today, of all days, is Fish Amnesty Day. Go ahead, shake your head, scratch. I don't care if a little dandruff falls onto the table. It's Fish Amnesty Day. Who would think of it? Must be PETA or some kind of group like that. It's also Fish Tank Floor Show Night. Yeah, you really can't make some of these up. Fish Tank Floor Show Night. I guess you go to the aquarium and you do it during the evening and you watch the fishies swimming around. I don't know. Freedom from Hunger Day. Well, if it's a fish amnesty day, I guess you're not going to be feeding the hungry fish. Fish amnesty day, freedom from hunger day. It's also International Rabbit Day. So I guess if it's a day for the rabbit, the hungry aren't getting any rabbit either. International Rabbit Day. You can't make this stuff up. Here's one for you. International Right to Know Day. On the surface, does that even make sense? And if you think it does, let me put it to you this way. No matter how you feel about it, if a woman is contemplating having an abortion, should it be everybody's right to know? If a person is thinking about changing from he to her, does the world have a right to know? It's Kids Day. Yeah, Kids Day. It's also National Ghost Hunting Day. Tim, are you out on a ghost? Is Tim out on a ghost hunt today? Or will he be when he wakes up? Because today is one of those days where Tim gets to sleep in. He doesn't know what I do over here on a Saturday morning, at least not until he hears what I've done on a Saturday morning. It is also National Hunting and Fishing, Public Lands, and Wildlife Ecology Day. Now, something does not make sense. How could it possibly be National Hunting and Fishing Day when it's Fish Amnesty Day, when it's International Rabbit Day? How could it be National Hunting and Fishing Day? It's also Nickelodeon Worldwide Day of Play. I think that's kind of tied in with Kids Day. Here's one for you. Read a child a book you like day. Read a child a book you like day. Oh, if my Uncle Ken were alive today. Whenever I'd go over to his apartment, he was a single guy. Whenever I'd go there, he would have American Sportsman, a couple of other Bankers and Tradesmen magazine, but he always had the Playboy too. Read a child a book you like day. Save your photos day. A lot of new gadgets about saving photos that you can snap off your phone and then download onto these new gizmos. Save your photos day. Strawberry cream pie day. Again. Pie day, cookie day, cake day, donut day, just make it all one day, please. Why this is a particular day today, I don't know. It's World Rabies Day. World Rabies Day. Set the Wayback Machine to 1779. We're in the midst of the Revolutionary War. And Samuel Huntington of Connecticut, he became the 6th president of the Continental Congress. You might be saying to yourself, so what's the big deal about the 6th president of the Continental Congress? Well, it was during this time that the Articles of Confederation become our nation's first constitution. And Huntington became the de facto president of the United States. A lot of folks might want to argue that, but Huntington is also one of the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence. Now, you're not arguing that because you can see his signature. You might want to argue whether or not he would be the first president of the United States. However, the Articles of Confederation did use the term United States. 1787, the Congress of the Confederation votes to send the U.S. Constitution to the states for ratification. Two different documents, Articles of Confederation, back in, I think it was 1781. Then, of course, 6 years later, 1787, the document that we have right now, the U.S. Constitution. And in 1928, you might know the name Alexander Fleming. He was in his laboratory one day and he noticed that there was something that was killing bacteria. Presto, penicillin. Alexander Fleming. Something that was killing bacteria. It was a mold. Penicillin. Monthly Fee RX brings us the Brian's B quote of the day. You have allergies, diabetes, high blood pressure, plus take prescription drugs for your heart. With this service, you could get all of your meds and have them delivered for one small monthly price. monthlyfeerx.com. So we talked about Samuel Huntington becoming the first president of the United States under the Articles of Confederation. Samuel Adams, he's the guy that we know. And he's the guy that is presenting us the Brian's B quote of the day. The Constitution shall never be construed to prevent the people of the United States who are peaceable citizens from keeping their own arms. Maura Healey, are you listening? Biden administration, Congress, Bacon Hill lawmakers, Sam Adams, one of us, this is what he said. So let me repeat it. The Constitution shall never be construed to prevent the people of the United States who are peaceable citizens from keeping their own arms. Now, I bet you there's some knucklehead out there who is going to say, well, we weren't really thinking about taking body parts. Let's go over to Studios 6 and 7/8. Jim Phillips has a preview of Town Square Sunday. Good morning to you, Jim.
Morning, Brian. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jim Phillips, and here's what's happening this week on Town Square Sunday. Members of the SouthCoast Business Alliance are gearing up for their major fundraiser, Oktoberfest, Saturday, October 5th at 3 p.m. There's a new location this year, Pope's Island in New Bedford. New Bedford Light columnist Jack Spillane shares his views on the Inspector General report on the shutdown of the UMass College of Visual and Performing Arts campus at the Star Store. And the Dartmouth Natural Resources Trust is inviting you to an afternoon of music in an evergreen grove on October 6th at 1 p.m. DNRT's Kendra Parker and local musician Dave Alves will have details. It's all coming up on Town Square Sunday, Sunday morning at 6 and 11 this week on 1420 WBSM and 99.5 FM.
Thank you, Jim. And yes, 2 times for Jim because the Patriots start at, I believe, 4:15, 4:30. And so we'll have our pregame for you starting in the 1 o'clock hour. 508-996-0500 to get onto the program today. You're first up. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Yes.
I'd like to take you back to the Wayback Machine, Herman.
Okay.
Not that far back. I was up in your neck of the woods, in the neck of the woods of the studio yesterday. I went to the Bank of America, and then I had to go somewhere else. Both places, I noticed I held the door open for the person behind me, and somebody had held the door open ahead of me. And it's my observation, I believe, about 2/3 of the door opening public will hold the door for the person behind them. They consider the person behind them. I don't know if you observed that or not. What do you think? Oh, my, I just had 2 deer run past me.
Did they hold the door open for you?
No, the deer just shot across the lawn.
Isn't it amazing? They have no peripheral vision. They just...
Like the tick varmints that they are. They're gonna taste good down the road.
No, not today. It's
not today.
Oh no, it is hunting day. You can hunt them, but it's kind of hard because you can't shoot rabbit, and deer and rabbit, they kind of go together.
I never had rabbit, but I have had deer, and I'm not crazy about it. Although I do enjoy it, and when I think about what they do to the garden plants, I'm especially happy of eating deer. But seriously, I notice more than half the people I think hold the door, and they're conscientious.
I think if they know somebody's coming behind them, they'll do it.
Yeah, I think that's a faux pas.
I think sometimes people are in their own world, and sometimes you just go through the door. Especially if you're looking at your phone or talking on your phone, you're not paying attention to anybody else around you.
How about if you're on camera and there's more eyes looking at you than most people would ever have in their lifetimes? This is what brings me back to the Wayback Machine, going back about a year ago, if it was that long.
I don't know.
This is the incident, and it reminded me yesterday when the mayor of New York was arraigned. When Donald Trump was first arraigned in New York, and the cameras were all sitting there in the lobby, and he had to walk through the door, and a bunch of court officers with their starched white shirts. And here comes the first guy. He lets the door slam in Trump's face. Now, not only was he on camera, but the guy behind him wasn't just somebody who he didn't know was there. It was the former president of the United States. But that was New York. Now, maybe in New York it's all right not to hold the door. But around here, I notice most people...
We are door holders around here.
I was at Joe's Gas. I held the door. I mean, people hold it for me, and everybody says, thank you. But not in New York City, and certainly not for the 45th president of the United States.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for the call.
Take care, Brian.
Appreciate it. We continue. Hello.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbit. Dilly, dilly.
Dilly, dilly. You're hunting rabbit. Well, I guess it's better than soda. Dilly, dilly. Dilly, dilly is... Oh, I guess I could make a joke. Dilly, dilly is quite silly. Glad to hear from him. Haven't heard from Dilly, dilly in a very long time. I'm curious, because I know Dilly Dilly follows the Patriots. I'm wondering if he's thinking they're gonna pull it out in San Francisco. I don't think they're gonna. I think it's a lost cause, the whole season. But we'll save that for another time. Right now, it's time to go to the Bitcoin Biz Barometer, where we measure the universal crypto marketplace. Looking pretty good, too, if I may add. Bitcoin is up more than $2,800 from last week at this time, coming in this morning at $65,800. $838. Ethereum, $2,682. That's up more than $130. Binance Coin up almost $25 at $602. Solana at $156. That's up $9. XRP is even at 58 cents. Dogecoin at 12 cents. That's up 2 cents. And Toncoin coming in at $5. $5 and change, actually. But that's even compared to last week at this time. And that's your Bitcoin Biz Barometer for today, September 28th, 2024. As always, I get my numbers from CoinMarketCap.com because these numbers are up to date. Every second, the numbers that I gave you, if something has happened, the numbers have changed. All right, 508-996-0500 to get back to the show. Couple of things. Philip Eng. He is the general manager, the head honcho, so to speak, the one that the yous and me's kind of see with the MBTA. The T has been going through all kinds of problems, in particular the trolley trains. Ridership on the commuter rail hasn't gotten back up to where it was prior to the crisis called pandemic. At a meeting in Taunton, I believe it was on Tuesday, may have been on Wednesday, the MBTA came out and announced that they will have 17 trips to New Bedford daily, Monday through Friday, 17 trips. And I stopped for a second because I'm thinking, well, they must mean 17 coming down this way. So half would go to Fall River, and half would go to New Bedford. I read the story. The story says New Bedford. 17 trips. Can you believe that? Do you think there are enough people? Now, let's try to figure this out. There will be 2 stops. One stop at Church Street and another stop by the Whale's Tooth parking lot, actually adjacent to the Whale's Tooth parking lot. Now, I'm sure there'll be people coming from Fairhaven. There'll be some people coming from Dartmouth. Actually, if you're living in Dartmouth, you'll have, depending on where you live in Dartmouth, you might decide, well, what the heck, I'll just go to Fall River. I might go to Freetown. But of course, again, depending on where you live, you might think the Church Street stop is good for you. If you are in the vicinity of Shaw's on Route 6, chances are you're thinking about going to that Whale's Tooth parking lot. The question is, are there enough folk for 17 trips? 17 round trips. I don't even know how they can do that, because one trip takes more than an hour, and these trains don't run during the overnight. So how the heck are they going to do it? Or is this a ploy? We're going to have 17 trips, so you'll be able to take a ride anytime. All 3 of you can take a ride. Now, I believe as the train gets closer to Middleborough, now you're going to see a difference. And then as you make your way up to Bridgewater and Brockton, but there are already trains going to those areas already. Plus, you need to consider trains that are going to Fall River are also going to go to the Middleboroughs, to the Bridgewaters, to the Brocktons. Are we being played here? 508-996-0500. Hello.
Morning, Brian.
Morning, Brian.
I'm not even sure the majority of people are even aware of the chaos that's going to happen on a daily basis, especially during let out of school time over there on Kings Highway. Just as an example, this past Monday and Tuesday, there were like 5,000 crews over there on Kings Highway. Like we know that job's been going on for 100 years now, that we probably could have built 2 new Fairhaven, New Bedford bridges compared to the time.
With the time and the money, yeah.
Right. And they dig it up, they put new blacktop, they dig it up. But anyway, Monday and Tuesday, the traffic and the sitting there was like unbelievable. I think I was stuck there for like 15 minutes with all the chaos that was going on over there. So then while I was sitting there, I started to think, the train is going to come by here. And you're right. They're talking about 18 daily trains. So imagine like at 2:30, 3 o'clock when Volk is letting out and the school buses are all going through that area. The kids and parents are driving through that area. 4:30, 5 o'clock when people are coming off 140 Kings Highway exit to go home, or even get on the highway on the other side to get on 140. And these trains are constantly going by there. So now you've got the hand levers have to come down. So I don't know how long that takes. And then, you've got the train that goes by, which, again, I don't know how fast the train goes by or how long that train is going to be. And then you got to wait for those hand levers. So it almost becomes like the New Bedford Fairhaven Bridge when it has to open and close and everybody's sitting there. And this is 18 times during the day or whatever, in the process of a 24-hour period, which maybe at night it's not a big deal. But in the morning, people trying to get to work and drop off kids. And the whole 2:30, 3 o'clock till probably 6 o'clock, the chaos that's not going to happen there. I mean, these architects, engineers nowadays, like, where's the common sense? I get it that there was already railroad tracks there, but how many millions of dollars did they spend on surveys, studies, so on and so forth. So, and wait till the bad weather comes, the snow. So, I mean, if people think there's a problem up there right now when there's construct, they haven't seen anything yet. And I just have a question for you because I'm just curious. Do you know if the train rolls through the railroad track over there on Nash Road also?
What
like
can you? Does a train roll through? No, I don't. So, in other words, heading toward Dartmouth?
Well, I don't know because they did fix that. I'm talking about in New Bedford over there on Nash Road.
Yes, but I mean, if you take that, it eventually will take you out to Dartmouth, that track?
I don't know because they've been fixing that, and they have a sign posted there warning people train could have speeds of 80 miles an hour.
Well, if that's the case, then they're not talking freight. They're talking the commuter rail.
Right. So, again, that right there is another area. I don't know if it's as bad as Kings Highway, but I'm assuming it is because, again, when school lets out and people, come in the city to and from work, I mean, that's a very congested area, too, also because of the lights that are over there. So, I don't know, but, it really should be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, you have a good day.
Yeah, I can't you tell I'm just looking forward to it. Thank you for your call. 508-996-0500. Saturday morning, kind of overcast. And from what I'm understanding, Barry was telling me there's going to be a lot of boats, Trump fans, out on the water a little bit later on today. Hello.
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 About the train on Nash Road.
Yes.
There's signs already that says, warning, trains can exceed 80 miles per hour.
Yes. And now I'm piecing together what she was talking about, because indeed the train will go, that train that's going to go from the Church Street station will cross over Nash Road to make its way down to the Whale's Tooth.
Yes. And I was trying to take a right on onto Tocken Hill Road from Church Street down, and they had a detour. And you had to go in where there's all these nice little houses minding their own business, and we have packs of cars all waiting at the stop sign. A lady gets into a car crash, and it looked severe. You could hear the noise. And the guy gets out, pulls over with his big SUV truck. He gets out and looks at his car instead of her. He T-boned her. And now here's the traffic getting worse. So I got to Stop and Shop about 20 minutes from Church Street to where Stop and Shop is. I get in, I shop, I come out, the ambulance is still in line trying to get by to go to that accident. It was ridiculous. And I'd like to know,
is it your opinion that it's going to get worse once the train comes down?
Yes, there's no alternate route to, like, say, I'm going to bypass Tocken Hill Road. And when I did bypass it once, I went, oh, the train's coming, the lights are coming down. I avoided it by taking Tocken Hill Road. What a mistake. Then that lights went on, and I had to wait for the train. But how much is a trip when you're on the train?
So depends on who you are. If you're going one way into Boston and you're under, I think, 60, maybe 62, then it's $6. If you're older than 62, it's $6. If you're under, then it's $12.25.
That's ridiculous. They could have just had a line of limos to bring you to Boston if you need to go to Boston.
Yeah.
With that kind of money? It's ridiculous. And then it plays...
But, the fare is reasonable. That's the same fare you're going to pay over in Middleborough.
Yeah, but why do you need to go to Boston?
There are people that go to Boston. Think about Mayor Mitchell. He used to go up all the time when he was a prosecutor.
He's not going to hack the train.
Say again?
He's going to be in his own private car.
No, he used to take the train.
Oh, okay.
From, I believe, don't quote me on this, Mayor, if you're listening, I believe he used to take the train every once in a while from Middleborough, but he would take the bus too, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, but he has the money to do that.
Well, there are companies that also pay for folks to do that.
Yeah, but I would be nervous going there, and if I had a job, taking that back and forth. What if I get sick? How do I get home? I have to take the train sick.
Well, it would be the same way if you drove.
Yes, but at least I'm in my own personal car. I can always pull over.
You could always get sick on the train. My guess is that's happened too many times.
Yeah, I just think it's a lot of money per week, per budget. It's a lot of money.
And so is the bus. I think there are people, and I don't want to put everybody into this classification, but if people live down here and they're working up there, then they have to, look at the dollars and cents of it all. And if it works out, it works out. I mean, Boston in general pays better than down here.
When the train goes by the Nash Road, where the road meets, it plays a loud tooting of the train. It is blasting. So that's going to happen right next to where there's a school where they built a charter school off the railroad track. Mm-hmm. They're going to hear that all day long if it's 17 times going back and forth.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. 996-0500. I see you there. I'm going to try to get to you. What's up? Patriots football. Tomorrow, pregame, 1 o'clock, kickoff around 4:05 right here on WBSM. In Westport, 65 degrees. Wareham, 59. New Bedford, 61. And thank you, SouthCoast Towing, for the WBSM app. We can download the app for free and listen to WBSM program all day and all through the night. By the way, just to let you know, we do not broadcast the football games through the app, so you will hear our regular programming, talk programming, during that particular time. So I want to bring this up right now. We're getting ready to go over to find out what ABC wants us to know, and then we'll have hour 2 of the show. But there's actually a city here in the Commonwealth, eastern part of the state, that is considering what's known as a generational ban on tobacco sales. I think it is the silliest thing that I've ever heard. What does it do? It